Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Mike, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. And just a quick introduction to myself. I'm the Senior Client Success Manager for DACH here at Channable, and I've been with the company for around 2 years now. And most of the time, I have spent helping our clients in Germany, Austria and Switzerland to succeed with complex data and feed management challenges. And yeah, today I'm really excited to be guiding you through this presentation where we will explore a truly innovative use case from the travel industry. And you're going to see how our partner Hurrah solved a problem that goes way beyond standard e-commerce. And before I introduce our expert speaker, just a few things. Yes, this presentation will be recorded. Yes, there's gonna be the presentation shared. And if you have questions in between, put them please in the questions chat, and we will have a Q&A after. So there's gonna be the presentation for around half an hour, and then there's gonna be a Q&A 10-15 minutes right afterwards. And yeah, now I'm delighted to introduce our expert speaker today, Teresa. She is a digital marketing strategy consultant at Hurrah. So Teresa, the floor is yours. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Before I come to me, a couple of words about who we are at Hurrah. We are a digital marketing agency who's been on the market for almost 25 years. We have a strong technological focus, having our own tracking technology, and we also had our own feed management tool until we decided to change it and to sundown it and looked for another tool, ending up with Channable almost 7 years ago. And we're independent and owner managed with clients mainly in the finance and insurance and retail and travel industry. I myself have been at Hurrah since 2016. My focus are on retail and travel vertical. I'm a shopping and feed management expert within Hurrah. I hate repetitive tasks and work that waste time. I love working with Google Sheets and Excel, and a big fan of automation, and through that, of course, a big fan of Channable.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, please let us know a bit more about the client. Who is the client? Where are they operating? Just give us a bit of background there, please.
My pleasure. Our client Airtour are in the market for almost 40 years, and they're known for pioneers of last-minute travel. They focus on travel packages and have over 100 destinations worldwide. And they operate mainly in the DACH region with a strong focus on Germany, of course, but also Austria, Switzerland, and also a little bit of France.
Great. That's a big client, and yeah, very known brand, especially for Germany as well. And I think with my parents before, I was also going with Airtour in different locations. And yeah, I think please let us know a bit more about where their challenges and what is basically the problem they are facing, and maybe you can tell us how you tackle this problem and how you could solve the challenges.
Glad to. The challenges within the travel industry are not much different from the retail industry. We have similar changes in search behavior. We have strong seasonality and constant fluctuation within top travel destinations. And this makes it challenging and very time-consuming to cover all relevant search areas and keep up with the demand and think ahead and see what areas we need to cover to have a perfect setup. And also having a mini exact setup, we focus very much on ad strength and the user experience within the account to be able to get the best results. Yeah, we started working with L-Tour at the end of 22. And after onboarding, we soon were confronted with several manual changes, with the end of the year coming with several manual changes that had to be done to the account, mainly changes to ad copy, but also changes to final URLs, date pre-selection that had to be adjusted, but also having to pause and reactivate specific ad groups depending on demand and where the focus was on that season. Here we saw the first big opportunity to automate key areas for the account to be able also to reduce the manual work. Parallel to this, we saw the rise in search queries, including the month of travel, and identified it as a key area to cover with hyper-relevant ads, leading users to a specific landing page, showing the right results and only showing relevant results for the client. Even with 4 account managers on agency side and 1 on client side, the to-do list grew bigger and bigger. Analyzing the account, we identified very many areas to improve. And we decided to cover the low-hanging fruits first and tackle the first problem by adding several ad customizers to the account, making it easier and faster to adjust ad copy, but also address promotions that sometimes were very last minute. And this was especially important considering that at the time we had over 220 campaigns in the account with over 2,000 active ad groups and almost double in that in all active ads. So manual changes, even with search and replace within Google Editor, was very time consuming. And after this, we still had the idea to set up hyper-relevant ads for search terms, including month of travel, especially to increase ad relevancy here for these search results. We analyzed the account and had a little bit to work on. We already had a set of 19 ad groups that would manually set up addressing the month of travel within the ad copy and also keywords. But the setup was not ideal. The date pre-selection within the final URL was not consistently updated, so that clients were not always seeing the relevant results when landing on the site. And the search volume was also okay. So we looked for ways to improve it, and we were confident that there was a better solution to it. We saw what possibilities did we have. The manual setup from the get-go was not an option for us since it was too time consuming and had the constant upkeeping of it with it. We looked at ways to solve it with ad customizers, but were confronted with some limitations from Google Ads within it, since the pre-selection with parameters within the final URL could not be updated via ad customizers. So we needed a solution that was fully automated and also made it possible for us to scale up the account. I myself is a strong believer that anything that can be put into a table can be used for automation. And being the Channable expert within Hurrah, also I soon had the idea that it must be possible to find a solution with Channable with the help of Google Sheet and some formulas. So we tackled the problem with 4 steps. First, we defined a set of destinations to test the automation, since they had also to be destinations with a good volume to be able to test and get relevant results from the test. We then ended up setting up an initial feed with some adjustments to be made to the automation, but also define the logic to tackle ad copy adaptation and also some adjustments to cover ad copy changes and some toggle of how to address starting and pausing ad groups and changing ad copy messaging. In April 24, we then deployed the initial tests with a set of 6 destinations covering firstly initially only 6 months of the year. After 6 months, we wanted to reassess and look at the results and see how we were going to expand it and how the data was going. Right now, I'm going to go quickly over the initial setup that we have. Since then, we have changed and expanded it a lot. Once I get to the current setup, I will go into more detail where you can see how exactly we managed to change the setup and make it more robust and more reliable. The initial feed that we had looked like this. We had, of course, a landing page URL with some parameters to define to have a destination-specific customization within the results, but we also had some destination-specific ad copy to increase ad strength and get a little bit of more variation between the destinations to not always have the same ad copy to reduce duplication here. And we also had some formulas to help with the automation. Since last-minute messaging is very important for L-Tour, we also looked of how to communicate it and how to change the ad copy, since last minute is only relevant in the 8 weeks prior to the travel date, and to not have last-minute messaging long time ahead, we needed to tackle this. And me being a very visual person, I set up these 2 tables to be able to see what needs to be paused and changed when, and also what we needed to take into consideration were some destination-specific adjustments, like the Greek islands are as good as closed for tourism during the winter months, but also Dubai, no one wants to go there in August or July when it's way too hot. So we wanted to not address this, not cover these areas. The setup within Channable looked like this at the beginning. We had a lot of ad group generators within Channable. They were all structured the same, with some rules to toggle ad group status, a couple to adjust variables so that it can be used to generate the keywords and the ad copy, the fill in placeholders. But most importantly, we defined some rules to pre-select the date range within the parameter filters. The reason why we wanted to set up this automation in the first place. The ad template showed our effort to get excellent ad strength by using the attributes in a reasonable amount of times to get the best results. Yeah. How long did it take us to get this to this setup? I logged about 5 hours to the project, not counting and not including some brainstorming and thinking about it in conversations with colleagues, but also off the clock. And after these 5 hours, we ended up with 80 ad groups created across 12 campaigns with almost 900 keywords added to the account. This also all fully automated. If this setup had been done manually, it would have taken probably approximately 15 hours time, and even using Google Ads Editor, it would have taken 46 hours. But this manual and Google Ads Editor setup does not include constant changing in the ad copy, having to adjust final URL once the month is over to be ready for next year when the search for the month combination starts again. Did not address also future changes to claims that might need to be done, or changes to destination-specific ad copy. And first and foremost, it did not include scaling up the automation, addressing more destinations and covering the whole month, not just the 6 months that we initially set up. So how did we go? After the approximately 5 hours, we ended up with, as I said, with 80 ad groups, all fully automated. In October of 2024, we reassessed and we saw the good initial results for the 6 months, and we decided to cover whole 12 months of the year, and also decided to include 7 more destinations. Adding the additional destinations and the additional months took us about a little bit over 1 hour. And with this 1 hour and 10 minutes, we managed to more than double the ad group automations to 194. Yeah. Only a couple of weeks after that, we got the request from the client to expand it even more to 6 more destinations, making it up to 25 in total at the moment, and also to expand the setup to include 3 generic campaigns. This took us 2 hours and led us to over 315 ad groups, again here fully automated, without having to adjust anything besides pausing maybe the campaign if the ad budget was not enough, or making some small changes. This all is what happened in Toronto 2024. What happened this year? Well, we saw that the initial setup did its job, and the results that we got from it showed that it was also worth it. And we also got an award for Best Innovation from Channable, which we are very proud of. But it also showed that the split between several ad groups generation made adjustments and expansion a little bit more complicated than it should be. And that the changes to text had always go through me, which was a little bit difficult since I'm not only responsible for one client, and also my time is also limited. So we had an idea to improve it, and after the agency partner day in March, I already had a couple of ideas on how to improve it, but we also wanted to expand it. We saw that not only month of travel is included within long tail search queries, but also seasonal seasons, public holidays, school vacation periods. And so together with Alto, we decided that we wanted to include school vacation periods to the account, since we already had a couple of ad groups manually created for some destinations that needed to be updated. And we saw with the ad group automation that it worked. So we wanted to save up time here also. Some other things that we needed to consider going further and expanding is that one campaign can only be linked to one campaign generator within Channable. So we had to, even expanding it, we have to set it up all within one campaign generator, and wanting to add the ad copy, the text components within the automation. We looked for a way to add it without having to add an infinite amount of attributes to be able to include all the text variations that we had for the different automations, but at the same time making it possible for the client or for maybe colleagues to adjust ad copy here, not having to always go through me. Exactly. And so we ended up with not only one feed, but with multiple feeds that we combined within Channable. The base stayed the same. We had a list here of the destinations with your final URL with the link to the landing page, some parameters for pre-selection of filters in the landing page. We have ad copy to have the ads more tailored to each destinations and have the variation here. We have some formulas within the Google Sheet to help us with the automation. But what we added here at this stage was to add a couple of identifiers to match the right text to the right campaign type. This leads me to the next feed, which included the text ad copy. We have here you can see different ad copy variations for the destination and month combination, but also for the generic campaigns. This was in a later stage in another sheet within the Google document joined using joint formula within Google Sheet to make it possible to add it to the campaigns within Channable. Here we have some placeholders to make it easier to replace them with the correct information from the feed. And again, the identifiers to be able to match it to the right automation. What came as an extra is the information about the vacation periods. Here we had a list with the vacation periods within Germany for the next 2 years to have it covered. And the interesting part here is that we needed to be able to add it to Channable. We needed to use nested lists. So have lists within lists, and needed to find a way to address it and to be able to split it up correctly within Channable again. Here again, we have a landing page specific for each vacation period, showing ideal destinations for that time of year and for that holiday. And all of that using multiple nested lists. We were able to add the text with one single line to be able to add it to all the base feed. So with all of this, we went from the setup like this with multiple ad generators and a text template that was set up entirely within Channable to this a very lean and clean setup with only one ad group generator and a template that was done within Google Sheets. And all of this was possible by using import rules, rule sections, and first and foremost, list and replace rules, which I will go a little bit more into detail within the next couple of slides. So why did we use import rules here at the stage? For different reasons. We had to set up more than one campaign generator. So instead of copying all the rules to each campaign generator, we set up some basic adjustments to the feed within an import stage, making it possible to not only make some adjustments and already fill out some placeholders, but also to add some static information to the feed, like the months of the year, and already treat some of the attributes in order to be able to use them in all the informations also for the automation. The main rule that we used here was so search and replace, but also splitting text within to make it possible to use it as a list to address the correct ad copy. Within the campaign generators, we only have some rules to filter out items that are irrelevant for the setup, like splitting destination-specific campaigns from generic campaigns, and but most of the adjustments were made at ad group generation level. The most interesting one being the splitting of the items, making it possible for us to scale up from 25 campaigns multiplied by the number of months, leading us to 300 items. And then in the next step, we classified and filtered out some of these combinations, and especially the classification to be able to address the toggle of messaging from last minute to a more general ad copy and vice versa. And of course, changes to some attributes to be able to use them for the final URL or the ad copy. Within another interesting rule that we used here was the slice list, which allowed us to select the correct messaging for ad text. We had different ad messaging within a list, within one attribute. And so with slice list, we were able to always select the correct messaging depending on what ad generation it is at this point. And also to make sure that the ad text met Google character limits, we set some rules to make adjustment to the ad copy in case the variables from the feed made them too long. Here, using the rule sections to check and make similar changes to different attributes made the setup a little bit more manageable and more made it possible to not have to add too many rules. So instead of having at least 21 rules to check for character limits, we were able to only set up 2 to 3 rules, making it more overseeable and more manageable. These adjustments made the setup of the automation even sturdier and more organized, so that also others can get into it a little bit more easily and to understand it, to be able to make adjustments and to it, and also make it easier to expand it further. So time for vacation. Yes, but also time to show how we adjusted the automation to cover search queries, including school vacation periods, to the automation. As I mentioned, we already had a handful of ad groups covering some school vacations that were set up manually and mainly in the generic campaign, and we wanted to address it also in the destination campaigns. Seeing the results from the ad group automation, it was a no-brainer for us to automate it also, and with a very similar setup. I'm sorry. Exactly. The setup is very similar with pre-selection of parameters. And what was special here is that we needed to address the nested lists. I need a moment. Sorry. Sorry, my voice is failing. Yes, and by using this nested list and also splitting them, it was able to split them to the correct vacation period. And with search and list rules, we were able to select the correct vacation period for the specific ad group. The only thing that did not work here was to use date rules for it, for the if statements, since the attribute to be used here, the date attribute needs to be defined as a date in the import stage. And since we added it within lists and lists, the nested list, it was not able to define them at import stage. So we need to use again some tricks to make it possible to pause ads, for example, 5 days prior to the end of the vacation period, but also to restart the ad groups 9 months ahead of the vacation period. So how did we scale up the automation from here. In December 24, we had 315 fully automated ad groups with about 2.7 thousand keywords. And in June of 25, when we set up the automation, we ended up with 425 fully automated ad groups with almost 4,500 keywords.
Wow, that's a lot of keywords and deserves a zip from the bottle, I think. And yeah, that's amazing how you scaled this thing up. Then I think what everyone is now asking, so what are the results after having set up all those ad groups and did all the data hacks and everything you showed? What, for example, changed from 2024 to 2025, and what can you say were the biggest results there?
Yes, we already had some pretty good results comparing 23 to 24. We increased the volume of search impressions coming from month ad groups, month ad group combinations by 50%, leading up to 1.5% of the account going through these automated ad groups. But especially the conversion rate increase. We managed to increase the conversion rate by 76%. And this showed us that we were not only attracting the right customers, we were leading them to the right landing page, showing them the relevant results that they wanted to see, so that in order for them to book directly. And the results from 25, and bear in mind that we are comparing here a whole year to only 10 months, because I took only the data from January to the end of October. Here we were able, within this 10 months, already increase the impression and clicks within these automated ad groups by over 400%. And making it up to 5% of the account that is fully automated, and 5% of impressions from the whole account are coming through these automated ad groups. They are leading users to the right landing page, and with the right pre-selected filters, and all of this fully automated without us having to do any manual adjustments to keep them hyper-relevant ads and leading them to the correct landing pages. The only thing that we have to do here at the moment is to update the vacation list to include the with the end of 2025 to include the vacation periods for 27. But that's not all. With the automation, what we wanted to achieve was to improve ad relevancy, and we were able to improve it. In January 25, we had almost 90% of keywords within these ad groups with a quality score of 7 or better, which is nice because we all know that quality scoring influences CPCs. And in 25, we still had mid 80% of these keywords with a quality score of 7 or better, but now we have almost 4,500 keywords within this. So even if it's a little bit smaller percentage, it's still a pretty good result. And in a time where everyone's complaining about increase in CPCs, we were able to reduce the CPC for these ad groups by almost 18%, which is always good if we are able to get the traffic at a lesser cost. Yes, and this shows that for me that it does not always have to be retail to benefit from Channable. But since most clients from Channable are from retail, here are some inspirations for you guys to see maybe what you guys can tackle to automating your accounts. Is Seasonality, as I mentioned at the beginning, is everywhere. It's also relevant for most retail stores, be it weather appropriate clothing or different type of wines that are searched for in different seasons, but also the seasonality within decoration of furniture. Product specifications, product specific attributes can be used to segment campaigns or ad groups also, and to increase also the user experience, especially when clients are looking for specific locations, is to include these in the automation to get the customer to the correct location and not send them to a generic store finder within the shop.
Wow,
And yeah, and as I said, it does not have to be location features as seasonality. Anything that can be put into a table can be used for automation. At the beginning, there was a question or a challenge with changing promotions and stuff like that. If it's possible to put it into a Google Sheet, even if the Google Sheet has to be adjusted manually, you can use that to automate campaigns within Channable.
Amazing. Thanks for the examples. For this example, also this a specific case, and then even the ability to get it further done in other areas like retail, as you mentioned. And there are some you mentioned already the questions. Thank you for your time here. And the first questions came in from Sabrina, and she's saying that she's working also in the travel industry, and they see that many ad groups, the data becomes too fragmented, which means they cannot optimize it properly. So how do you manage this with one ad per month per destination, and therefore many ad groups with little data?
Yes, we have definitely some ad group destination month combinations that have very low volume, but we have a mainly exact match account set up in the account, and we have all destination ad groups within one campaign. And with this, the algorithm is able to work good, so that we have very good results within the whole account, even with these with some ad groups having small volume.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you have less volume, then you can definitely use this one. And I think to that question, adding the question from Laura, who is asking how can you scale on a smaller level when the budget is small, around maybe 10K per month, also for a travel account. Are there any other approaches that you would take?
Scaling it up, covering the whole 12 months does not necessarily mean that you increase the volume of the traffic, because there's much fluctuation as to when people search for a specific month or a specific year. So what you do here is to have a longer pause between pausing the ad group after the month passed by, and not only letting it pause for 2 months, but maybe a little bit longer, so that you cover the ad group month combination, maybe not for 10 months, but maybe 5 or 3 or even lesser month.
Oh, that's a good trick to save the budget and stay within the budget. That's something to keep in mind. And you can always pause ad groups. Good initiative and tip. And there's another question from Andre. He's asking, or he's saying that it's a good sample if you always have similar or the same products. But how would that differ if you work with new collections every quarter?
I hear that it has come from an apparel, more retail client. you have different products each quarter, but it's always, correct me if I'm wrong if it's not regarding clothing, but you have you have seasonal specific clothing. So you have winter clothing and summer clothing and bathing suits and stuff like that. So it's about not adding the products to each campaign, but to addressing the categories. So you can set up to have campaigns specifically for people looking for winter coats, starting with September or October, when the time gets when the weather gets a little bit colder. But once spring comes, then you activate to have it automatically activate campaigns with more lighter clothes, more colorful clothes for spring collection, starting in February or March, for example. And then having campaigns or ad groups more specific for bathing suits or summer clothing or some t-shirts and short skirts and stuff like that, more for May, June, when the collection starts. You have the quarter, so you can set it up to have these specific product types change with these automations.
Yeah, great tip regarding the automations. And yeah, for sure, that's something we also always emphasize, that if you have new categories or products coming in, then yeah, take at once the data you have from before, and also add then the learnings and add them to your campaigns, as you just mentioned. And then there was a more technical question also from Nicholas. I guess the answer there, it depends, but he is asking, so you generated feeds of ad groups, campaigns, ads, and keywords. How was the upload done? Google Ads API, or how did you do it?
We use the ad group or the campaign generator from Channable. So we do not end up with a feed with ad group campaign keywords, but we used it it is created directly from Channable API to Google Ads. If you do not that there are some ways to do it, you can generate a CSV feed and upload it to Google Ads directly, but the feature from Channable is I think the best solution here, to have it fully automated without any room for error.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. I think in German we would say Punktlandung. It's 2:45. We ran out of time, basically. If you have other questions in the end, just let us know. I think if you go one slide more down, there are our details. You can link us up on LinkedIn. You can ask Teresa or myself if you have anything. As you said, we have the recording for you and the presentation slides for everyone who registered. And yeah, thank you so much, and enjoy your afternoon. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.